Hey guys, it's Linda and welcome back to Sew and Tell. I did a DIY transformation and I basically took a denim jacket that I got from the thrift store. It was like $2.50 and turned it into a dress. I know some of you guys are going to freak out and say it was a perfectly good jacket, why'd you mess with it? But I also think it's a really cute dress, so finally, I want to say thank you so much to Singer Sewing Company. They were kind enough to gift me the heavy-duty sewing machine that I actually used in the video. And it's basically a mechanical machine that can sew through a bunch of heavy-duty fabrics. So if you sew denim, leather, upholsteries a lot, I would really recommend looking into it. Normally on a regular sewing machine, I would have to go really slow, or the needle would get stuck, or I'd have to like physically turn the dial or the knob, but I didn't have to do that at all, which was a miracle. So I'll leave all the information down below, but definitely check it out. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, click the subscribe button and that notification bell, and I will see you guys all soon. So this is what the jacket looked like before, and then I am going to use scissors and a seam ripper to take off the collared piece, open up the shoulders, remove the sleeves, and then using the seam rippers to open up the underarm portion, and then just cutting off the cuffs. Try on the bodice piece as if it's a skirt and then pin up the sides. For mine, I am just overlapping them and doing a top stitch rather than doing like a full-on seam allowance. And try to match up the stitchings on the front and back if you can. Once you try it on, you'll notice the gapping area from the original armpit area, and to get rid of that, I tucked a portion underneath the curved seam and then the rest of them along the side seams. But make sure you are doing this to both sides so that it's evened out. And after I made my initial pinning on my body, I went back in and cleaned up the pin markings. And make sure whenever you are pinning on your body that you are super careful. I don't want you guys to hurt yourselves. If you can have someone to help, that would be even better. I decided to just top stitch everything down since the pins were already in its spots, but it's completely optional and you can actually sew it from the inside as well. To finish off the skirt, I wanted to remove the little flare along the jacket, so I pinched it in from the side seams and then sewed a straight stitch to clean it up. Trim away all of the original shoulder pieces so that you can get a straighter waistline, and I am adding in the collared piece along the back side just so I can raise it up a little bit. And you can sew this on any way you want to. I chose to just top stitch it on because I didn't mind the raw edge, but you could do a seam, or you could even open up the collared piece and then sew it in between. This is what the back side of the skirt should look like, and then for the front panel pieces, I'm using one of the sleeves and cutting it in half. Then trim off the extra fabric and fold it in so that you get a clean finish along the center line. I'm also matching up the seams with the buttonholes. To attach it to the skirt, I am folding over the top portion on the skirt piece and just top stitching everything down. Sew along all of the edges, and depending on your machine, make sure to slow down when you're going over all of the bulkier portions. So you're going to have to try on the dress multiple times while working on the project just to make sure the fit is perfect. And when I tried it on with the center pinned up, I realized I wanted to take in 2 little darts along the top. That way it could fit my bust a lot better. And after you have the 2 darts sewn in, this is what it should look like, and I just folded down the top portion and then the sides. Now take it off your body and then trim off all of the extra fabric that you have. Then you want to fold it in to give it a clean finish, and then pin everything into place so that when you are sewing, it will be so much easier. To make the straps on the dress, use the sleeves to cut out 2 strips. Mine ended up being around 1 3/4 wide, and after that, fold them right side to right side and sew up the opening. I like to sew mine with the folded edge on the right side so it's lined up with the measurements. Once both sides are sewn up, use a safety pin to flip it right side out, and if your straps happen to be a little bit skinnier, it might be easier to use a loop turner. Then press them out so that they are nice and flat. I'm folding my straps up so that I can hide the raw edges and then pin them along the back side of a skirt. Mine happen to be around 4 inches apart, and make sure that they are directly in the center. Sew down the back side and then try it on to see how long the strap should be. After that, pin it and sew it to the front. For the closure on the bodice portion, I decided to use the cuffs that I already had, and I am trimming the top portion with most of the cuff and then cutting the ends off to reuse the buttonholes and button for the middle of the bodice. After everything is pinned on and secured, I am going in to sew around all of the edges, and for the top portion, once the top and bottom are sewn, I folded the edge over on the side and just top stitched that down. For the middle button and buttonhole, I am also just sewing around the edge and then folding the leftover towards the center and sewing that down as well. Because I'm reusing the old buttonholes, I went in with the top stitch to sew around that opening. Finally, use a seam ripper or the tips of your scissors to cut out the buttonhole. And this is just the way I did it, but if you want to add on your new buttons or make new buttonholes, that's completely up to you. But after this step, you are all done.